You know, I usually find it funny when discussing Morara Kebaso. Morara Kebaso is relatively a very young man. I think he's 29, is it? So it's like saying he has agendas which go beyond political thinking. And it was funny seeing some political leaders who call themselves opposition sitting down with Morara Kebaso. Morara Kebaso is 29 years. That is to say, if I add 5 years, is it, to him, and it's funny that even the people who call themselves advocates had to sit down with a 29-year-old to talk about him being in government and trying to be the president. Morara Kebaso cannot be a president of anybody. He's 29 years old. He's an advocate. Has he read the IEBC requirements for a president? You need to be 35 years and above to be a president in this country. So the earliest Morara Kebaso can be anything near the president is Haux 2032, is it? And it was ill-advised of the people you call opposition to sit down with a young, naive advocate who can't even read the requirements of being a president. The only thing Morara Kebaso can be in this country is just be a governor, look for a position, be given a position as a cabinet secretary, but not being a president. And hizi ndio vitu zenye tumesema, unakaa na watu ama unataka kukaa na watu, but watu wenyewe hata hawana priorities. And as you see, Ruto anasema hawana agenda, hawana idea, hawana mpango. It's true. The group that has regrouped and ganged up pretending to be what do you call this, opposition, is just a group of people with agenda who cannot defeat Ruto. Ruto will not be defeated that easily, that you wake up na unaona eti mtamshinda, sijui eti akina Gachagua wameshikana, sijui Matiang'i wameshikana. Who is Matiang'i even? What does he do? You think Matiang'i can take over leadership kutoka kwa huyo jamaa rais venye unafikiria na venye akona pesa? Matiang'i has an agenda na amewekwa hapo for create disruption, na hao watu wote wanajuana. And at first I had to sit down and niangalie nione what is the correct way of us handling it, and if it was a setup. And you could see from the word go, Gachagua walikaa chini wakaelewana na huyo jamaa, wakasikizana vitu zao ya kuwa jamaa ameona na ameamua ya kuwa they are losing vote in Mount Kenya. So he goes back there and tries to get the vote back, woos them, then he takes over that vote as a whole block and take it back to that guy. So that's the only play they have. But whatever you call opposition is just full of vultures who don't have anything. And for me, I've never given Morara Kebaso an ear. Morara Kebaso is generally a young boy who is just excited, as you see, Kasmol. It's the same people. And part of it is I've always been against this idea of you know this, and the young boys. And they seem to be very naive to do some things. But for Morara Kebaso, the only thing he can be is a governor, cabinet secretary. He can't even lead a political party. The only thing is for him to get young people to come into his party and try to rule from there. But he can't be anything. He's vanished. The reason they sent him away and packing was because Morara Kebaso can't be the president. He's making demands as who is just a party holder with no agenda and no idea of what he wants. So for me, I've never seen Morara as anything, and it's just a young man who, in my opinion, took money from Wananchi, and his idea was to showcase what the government was doing wrongly, but he ended up taking money and running away. And it was laughable seeing people you call opposition sit down and say, oh, tunakaa na young leaders. Which young leaders? Morara Kebaso is just a young man, and he is a naive young man who thinks he can be the president. There are serious contenders and candidates in this election, and we are still coming up. We are still working on things to make sure that any transition that is meant to happen will happen well. And we are talking for a while, or for some time we'll talk as young people or naive people, but we are looking at things and just saying we don't want to go into any formations. And as I've said, We are not going to any parties so that we can just lay low and take somebody to lead us and take the mantle and be our leaders. No, we are coming in there full force, and we want that seat. The only seat the young people want is that president's seat. We don't actually want any other seat. The only seat we are taking and want is that presidential seat. So forget Morara Kebaso. Morara Kebaso is a non-factor. He's a non-issue. So forget that young boy. And he's just an advocate. Now he can go run. He's not even controlling any crowd now. Nobody even watches his video, even on TikTok. Everybody brushed him off. So he remains a non-factor and a relatively clueless young man.